Hey, welcome to Lunch with Lee. Today we're talking about something that when I looked into Google and what people are searching for when it comes to chimneys and fireplaces in our area and a lot everywhere, and even when we look at people who come to our website, one of the top search terms they use to get to our website is chimney sweeping logs, because we have some blogs about it. And it's kind of a sore subject with our industry because these logs give the impression that you get a chimney sweep with the log, that it is a substitute for a professional sweeping. And a lot of people are going to say, well, you're just upset because this replaces you. And the reality is, if you read the actual information on what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to be a maintenance item in between professional cleanings. It does not substitute for the inspection, which is the most valuable thing, or the professional sweeping if in fact you need that. And I'll make a case in our market, which is Houston and Beaumont. Quite often people buy these things because they're scared of their fireplace, because they've never had it inspected. They don't know the condition of it. They don't know really what they're doing. So they buy these things. They often burn them and then say, oh, they work great. But the answer is they didn't do much of anything, because it wasn't that dirty from the beginning. And some of the flaws you have in your chimney and fireplace weren't going to be fixed by a log. So if you use this, and it's how do you know if it works or not? And when I'm looking at reviews and what people say online, they're like, it was great. We didn't have a chimney fire. In most cases, I would make a case you probably weren't going to have a chimney fire anyways. So how do you know if it works or not? I could tell you the way I would tell if it works or not, and I've never actually done this. Maybe we should do it, which is I would inspect the fireplace before you use the log. I would have you use the log, and then I would come back a day or two later when it's cooled down, and then I would inspect it again without any sweeping to see what the actual change is. And there is something in the log that is a chemical that goes inside the venting system that will turn sticky and glazed creosote into something that's easier for us to sweep out of the fireplace. But once again, I'm saying in most situations in our market, and if you go up to Rochester, New York, Connecticut, somewhere where they're actually cold and they're using wood stoves and inserts or furnaces that are burning wood and stuff like that, oil, maybe these are more useful. But in our market, quite often, you don't need it. So it's a false sense of security. If it makes you feel better, go for it. There are some customers in our market that we suggest them for because they burn 2-3 cords of wood in a year. Yes, even in Houston. We're getting them now. You know, I burned 1.5 cords a year. Then maybe if you're not going to do multiple sweeps a year, maybe then you use it as a maintenance item. Maybe. But in general, it's expensive wood. I don't think it does you a lot of good. You just make sure before that, have it inspected, have it professionally swept, know the condition, know how your fireplace was built. But these sweeping logs can be a useful item as a maintenance regime, but they're not a substitute for the real deal. Now, they can make our jobs easier and they can save you some money if, in fact, you need them. But in most cases, in our market, you don't need them. It's kind of a waste. So I would start off with inspections. We'll go over how do you use this thing? Are you looking for heat? How many cords of wood are you burning if you're burning wood? Even in gas, when you have gas logs, vented gas logs, that gas burns dirty on purpose because you don't want plain blue flames. You want yellow and reds, and it's going to produce a lot of soot. And normally in our market, because you can use it for an hour and a pop and it's easier, people with gas logs use it a lot more than people who burn wood. That is considered normal. So chimney sweeping logs, to get back to the subject, because I have a habit of wandering. Yes, they have a purpose, but no, they are not a substitute. Understand that they're doing what they say they do if you read the instructions, which is they release this chemical inside. And let me go over that real quick too. When I'm looking at reviews online, because I did a little research before I said this, people are saying they have a little thing on Google that says smell. And people are like, oh, I enjoy the smell when you burn these things. It's a chemical. If you're smelling it, it's coming into your room, you're breathing it. That's bad. I would encourage you to almost start a fire, have the venting going, make sure it's venting correctly before you put the log in. Don't just start it from a cold fireplace. That's a problem. So you shouldn't smell these things. People are saying their eyes are burning when they're using them. Yeah, it's because there's something wrong with your fireplace. There's something going on. You need to have it inspected. You need to figure out what that is. So don't just assume this is going to fix problems. Don't assume that it's going to make it safer. It may, but in small percentage of chances. And you don't even know if it's working or not. Because I've had customers that use these religiously thinking it's a substitute. And then when we actually come out, everything's a mess. It didn't do enough good to actually fix stuff. Because it's not designed to do that. So make sure if you want to use a log, want to use a chimney sweeping log, it's not going to do any harm. But make sure you actually have it inspected. Make sure you know the condition and make sure you know what you're getting for your money and if it's doing any good at all. So I appreciate it. Please like it, share it. This is one of the most popular search terms on the internet. That's why I'm doing it. And we will see you next time. Thanks.